Eyes on the mountain, smoke in the skies, whispers in the dark where the truth still hides. Bound by fire, sealed with the nose. Eyes on the mountain, lost in the smoke.
The oath had been sworn, not in haste, but in full knowledge of the cost. 200 descended, not as messengers, but as men. They took wives, not with love, but with longing that should never have touched the earth. Each chose for himself from the daughters of men, beautiful, fragile, unknowing. And from these forbidden unions were born giants, not of this world, not of heaven, but something in between, too great to sustain, too dark to be ignored. Born of heaven and earth, they were called Nephilim. They devoured all that grew, then turned on mankind. Blood soaked the soil. The cries of the slain rose like smoke, and the earth began to tremble. But the watchers did not stop. They taught, they shaped, they corrupted. They say Semjaza led the rebellion, but the fire came from Azazel. He descended not for desire, but to awaken something darker. He gave man the sword, woman the mirror, and the world its first taste of blood and pride. He walked among them, not as a god, but as something worse. He placed fire into their hands and showed them how to turn it into death. And to the daughters of men, he gave mirrors, not for reflection, but for control. He taught them how to bind with beauty and rule with desire.
I give you more than beauty. I give you power. The power to bend kings, to command armies without lifting a blade, to walk into a room and watch the world kneel. Adorn yourself, not for them, but for what you are becoming.
Azazel gave them power, but not peace. He gave them form, but stripped away fear. And the earth began to forget who made it. The women he adorned learned to rule in silence, not with chains, but with beauty that enslaved the heart. Seduction became currency. Envy, the new law. What began as whispers became wildfire. The men he armed raised their blades, not to defend, but to conquer. Villages became camps. Camps became cities. And cities became battlegrounds. And so it spread from family to tribe to nations not yet born. This was not corruption. This was architecture. And Azazel was its architect. Semjaza had led the oath. He had gathered the brothers. He had descended with purpose. But now, as he watched blood stain the earth and desire devour the image of the Creator, Semjaza knew Azazel had gone too far.
This is not what we came for.
It's exactly what they
You were to guide, not to twist them into gods of dirt and bone.
They were always gods. I just showed them how to get off of their knees.
What was meant to be influence had become infection. They had descended to touch beauty. Azazel descended to rewrite it. For a time, heaven remained silent. But silence does not mean blindness. What was loosed on the earth had reached the gates of eternity.